Hey, 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 love and light to each and every one of you guys. Welcome to the Dope Black Chick Podcast, your audio guide to releasing your dopeness. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for being with us for our 42nd or 43rd show. I can't even keep up with the numbers, but I am happy that you guys are here. As you know, as of last week, I think it was last episode, I was telling you guys about my birthday celebration and how it was so great and awesome, and that I would be sharing some of these lessons I am learning and all of the things that I have been picking up along the way. Well, on today's show, I kind of want to talk about growing pains. Yes, I have been talking about how great and awesome 40 has been so far, right? But I also would be remiss not to talk about the growing pains of turning 40, right? So, and I don't want to say that this is just set aside for 40. I'm focusing on 40 because 40 for me has been like the culmination point for so much growth, for me. And so I guess this would relate to you on any level of growth where you are, even if you're having this epiphany moment at 32. And keep in mind, guys, that the epiphany moments, they come very often. So you're going to have a lot of these. And I'm definitely having my share of them. But at 40, I've been having a lot. Okay, because I think because it's just like this monumental moment society has made 40, like, oh, you're 40, you're over the hill, or whatever the case they call it. And I think that's why we focus more, or we're more intentional of life's lessons at that point. But I'm just speaking about me, okay? But there have been so many great epiphanies. And so, like I said, I would be remiss if I didn't also talk about the stretching time, the moments in this journey of evolution where I feel totally unhinged and unsure and not confident and insecure and just, really questioning what the hell is happening, right? Because you hear these well thought out shows that I'm giving you and you hear like, oh man, I can't wait to get there because it looks like everything's going to be amazing and everything clicks and everything makes sense. Well, I was talking with a young lady who we connected over social media, and I was talking with her. We had lunch one day, and I was just talking to her about, where I was in life, and or basically she was telling me where she was in life, and for some reason she thought that I had definitely surpassed all of this stuff, right? So she was talking about her she was talking about, some issues, hiccups in her life right now. And she's 30 years old. And so she was like, maybe, one day I'm going to get to where you are and everything makes sense. And I'm like, hey, hold on, pump your brakes, baby. Because I am still learning. I am still learning on this journey, and things are just as confusing as they were before, and that's the thing about life, is that you're never gonna know everything. Life is so diverse and deep and beautiful that you can never fully understand or articulate all that is going on in this journey. That's something that I've learned, is that I'm never going to just get it. And I think on the previous show, I talked to you guys about, we have to understand that we are in connection with the timeless understanding, right? And by saying the timeless understanding, you're basically saying this universe, our creator, is the only being that knows and understands its own design. So while we will never fully understand the completeness and the depth of this journey and this universe that we reside in, we will know that we have a connection to this timeless understanding. So we can always tap in when we're totally confused, right? Hold on to that nugget. You can always tap in when you're totally confused, because that's going to come up a little bit later. So yes, as I was saying, I would be remiss, this is the third time I've said remiss, to not tell you guys about those hiccups and those moments where I am confused, right? So here I am floating along on this beautiful cloud of, hey man, life feels good right now and I'm really excited and I'm just going to let my life flow, and my life is unfolding just as it's supposed to. Like all of this, right? I'm on this beautiful cloud, and wouldn't you know it, here comes the storm. The storm is coming. I am at a point where I'm just like having to remind myself, your life is unfolding as it should, as it's supposed to. Like I'm constantly talking to myself right now. We talked about, that was so hard to get out. We talked about how fighting the waves sometimes can be exhausting and incredulous, right? So let me tell y'all how crazy it is that I do these shows, because when I tell you guys I'm doing this show not just for you but also for myself, this is the Dope Black Chick podcast is like a audio journal. I am really giving you guys these things as I get them on this journey of truly unleashing the fullness 100% of my dopeness, right? So, I was floating on this cloud, man. I was on cloud 9, and then all of a sudden it seemed like every force was against me. Every force in the universe was like, you had enough fun, bitch. Here comes some rain. I wish I had some like thunder cloud sounds and stuff right now, but that was how I was feeling. I was like, why is this weirdness happening? And you know that we're in retrograde, but I'm not gonna blame everything on retrograde, although I do believe it does attribute. But yeah, like, I'm not gonna get into the specifics of what was happening, but it was just some crazy shit happening in my life. Like weird, simple, crazy shit. Not like deep crazy shit, but it was like weird, simple, crazy shit. So it started out with like something really simple, but it was simple on a basis of something that I was working towards. I told you guys I'm on the edge of vulnerability, right? So I was working on this vulnerable state, and guess where the rain decides to pour? The rain wants to pour right smack dab on that vulnerability spot. And so I was like, I thought I had this thing kind of figured out. I thought that I was ready for the up and down of it. I thought that I was flowing into it, right? I was just going to ride the wave. When I tell you that thing was so uncomfortable, I couldn't sleep. I was just really frustrated and confused, and my rationale tried to kick in. And I know you guys have been there. Like, we've all done that. And your rationale is trying to kick in. The logic is like, well, we can figure this out. There has to be something that we could do. In the process, you're not sleeping because you're too busy thinking of what you can do. And I stopped and I had to remind myself after the second night of no sleep. I reminded myself that, you know what, Kim, your life is unfolding as it should. And if this minor issue causes what you expect it to be to fall apart, then that means it was meant to fall apart. And you are so much closer to what is truly meant for you. And so I began to look at it and say, you know what, that kind of is true if I trust that the universe is bringing me closer and closer to those goals and those things that I have so desired and manifested for my life, right? If I really believe that. And this is where the accountability and the bullshit ends. Like, are you just saying stuff? Are you just posting these things? Or do you really believe that the universe is taking you closer to the things that you've manifested for your life and the things that you've wanted for your life? Now, I'm saying that for me, but I'm also saying it for you. If you are in a place of worry, doubt, frustration right now, check yourself and say, do I really believe what I say? When I say this is going to be for me, this is the life that I'm having, and I am allowing the world to bring it to my doorstep. Like, we say those things and we say those mantras, but there's going to be a moment when you have to own up and really gut check yourself and say, do you really believe it though? And this was my moment. This was my moment. Like, I really had to say, do you really believe that? Because if you do believe it, then you're going to take all this pain. You're going to take all of that, the growing pains of this, the uncomfortability of it, the vulnerability of it. You're going to take all of this and you're going to swallow it. And you're going to be okay with it. Y'all, when I tell you, that was a hard pill to swallow. I just sat there for a second and I wept. I did. Do you say wept? I wept. I did. Because it was like the battle of trusting myself again. Not so much of trusting myself to really believe in myself, but more like, do I really trust myself in what I'm saying when I manifest daily? When I say these mantras, do I trust myself? Is there real belief in what I'm saying? And in the tiny recesses of my spirit, the voice said, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And so I had to make that voice come out louder. I had to continue to remind myself, yes, I do believe. I do believe with everything in me that the universe has been pulling me closer and closer to that which I desire and deserve, because I have manifested it in my life. Now, when I looked back, of course, you know, there's this other part of us that wants to point out all the things that went wrong, right? So while all of that is happening, I still had that voice that was like, but remember, you thought you was getting close to this and this happened and that happened. But that small voice, like I said, in the dark corners of my spirit was saying, but I believe I believe and I trust that even with all of the craziness that was when I was fighting the waves and when I was trying to control the direction, and even sometimes I was taken out further because I had to be, I still believe that the universe is pulling me towards that which I so desire and deserve, because I have manifested it. And not just because you've manifested, but because you believed in it. And so I believe that the universe cares for us all. I believe that the universe has my best interest in mind. You know, the God that I serve cares deliberately about me and sees me fighting the waves sometimes, and sees me on these rocky waves, but has never once kept me from not making my way through the water. You know, I didn't faint. I didn't get weary, but yeah, like you have to kind of remember that. You have to kind of check yourself on where you are in your belief system when growing pains happen. And I think I'm going to do a show about my spiritual growth, because that's a whole other episode. Like, I'm not even talking about just the spiritual growth right now. I'm just talking about more emotional growth. And it's just been a journey that is both gratifying and uncomfortable, exhilarating, and so much anxiety. But I don't know what's happening right now. Okay. I don't know, but I do know that I feel like I'm blooming. You know, if that makes any sense. I feel like I'm still blooming, and it's great to feel that way at 40 years old. I still feel like there's more to me that I don't know. There's more to me that I will. I feel I get doper every day. I do, and that's not ego. Like, that's just facts. I feel like I get so dope just from knowing thyself. And I hope that you guys are feeling that as well. Like, I don't want to give you guys a show where I can say, do this and you'll feel that. Because the day that I do that, that means we're all cookie cutter. So I can't give you that. But what I can tell you is that, hey, sis, I'm going through this same thing too. This life journey is something that we're all trying to navigate. But the thing is, we're not going to take the same road. And the destination is hell if we know, you know? But there's like beauty in the tragic craziness of it all. You know, there's beauty in it. Even when I'm fucking scared to death. And I am. But you know what I've been thinking? I've been thinking that maybe this level of fear is something that is necessary. We'll discuss that further in another episode, because I got to evaluate it first before I can try to break it down. But I kind of feel that way. Like, maybe this level of fear is necessary. Because sometimes, like, you can be scared to death. You know, like when you get on a roller coaster, you scared to death. Especially when you get to that, like, when they get you to the top, just before you fall over, you're, like, scared to death. But that level of fear is necessary, because when that drop happens, you're like, oh, my God, this is amazing. I'm not a fan of roller coasters, but I thought I'd put that out there for anybody who is. Yes. So, yeah, that's something for me to further examine in a future episode. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, like, growing pains can actually be beautiful. They can actually be beautiful, and at least you know you're growing, right? At least you know you're growing. It's not familiar. It's something new that you're trying to figure out, so that means you're growing. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Like Forrest Gump would say. That's all I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show, and I hope that if you are one of those people who are in the middle of growing pains or experiencing some growing pains, be it in your personal life, your professional life, your spiritual life, even your wellness, your well-being, in your romantic lives, whatever it may be, if you are experiencing a growing pain, try looking at it from this perspective, that there is beauty in it. And let's just, let's get on one accord and say we're going to see what happens. Right? And be scared to death together. Because I swear to y'all, my heart is bumping in my chest and I am scared. But I'm not fearful. Scared and fearful, two different things, right? Okay. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to go any deeper, but I think that it will definitely be a upcoming show for the month of August. Can you believe we're almost done with July? And I want to say to you guys, thank you for the listenership is up like, whoa. Thank you. Tell somebody else, and tell somebody else that there's a dope black chick talking dope black spit. All right? And send them on over to the Dope Black Chick podcast. Make sure, guys, if you're on iTunes or Google Play or Spotify or any of those platforms, make sure that you're subscribing. Download those episodes. Rate the show. Leave me a comment and shoot me some email. thedopeblackchick@gmail.com. That's how you can reach me. And if you want to hit me up on Instagram, it's at @thedopeblackchick. All right. So until next time, peace and blessings.